cold walls of the lab bounced his footsteps around in a dizzying manner. With a flick of the lights and a deep mechanical breath, he saw her prison cell in front of him. It looks more like a hotel room without a bed. Each footstep he takes echoes metal of metal, his feet slamming on the ground with all of his weight. Jack's metal hand and lungs were the beginning of his transformation. Now, long after its completion, he is the premier scientist in the factory. His mechanical body serves only as a vessel for the mind of which he pays no attention. It is only his newest experiment he cares for. In the middle of the room is his pet project, Penelope. Past the control panels, levers, and vials, he rests an elbow on the storage cell, his eyes focused on Penelope's chest. She is breathing, correct? Are her wires moving?
Is she asleep?
The doctor's voice mixed with the radio static in Jack's head. His arm flinched, spilling a vial of Type A blood. Staring at the glowing puddle, he smells the rot and bacteria used to grow it. So much work, gone.
You're lucky that wasn't S.
She's asleep. Don't scare me like that, Doctor.
Is she, Jack? From what I'm seeing, there's already 3 fingers. If she wakes up before she finishes growing, there will be irreparable damage to her psyche. You mess this up and the hunt will be the last of your worries.
Jack hated the doctor. He understood the org chart and the reality that answering to Brown's number 2 is an honor, not a punishment. That doesn't mean he has to like him, though.
Yes, Doctor. There's 3 fingers. The right ring and right thumb are still growing. The nails are already sticking off the palm. We are not ahead of schedule. She will not be awake until her whole body finishes.
And what's the timeline?
7 days. A week, Doctor.
A long pause allowed Jack's mind to race. Solitude Labs was meant to prepare the world for Judgment Day, to prep the body and soul for the Second Coming. Instead of preparing for God, here is Jack playing God. What happened to the factory? How can Origin let the cage slip away? The glass workers in fucking Boston of all places.
You seem troubled, Jack. Our goals are not lost upon you, correct?
No, Doctor.
I am not your doctor right now. I am your brother.
Jack's muscles relaxed. That small change wasn't anything but small. Bending down, he grabbed a towel hanging on the chair and began wiping up the Type A.
What troubles you? Please.
Brother, I fear my faith in the factory is waning.
He waited for repercussions. You don't admit this to a number 2. You don't admit this, period. Instead of punishment, he got compassion.
I understand, brother.
His eyes widened.
I know this is hard to hear, but please let me speak. There was a time I felt the same. Origin's lack of plans bothered me. Dr. Brown was never someone I wanted to be like. Fate Corps. When it took over the United Nations, I was ready to take care of myself. I refused to accept this factory was anything but a play, being puppeted by a false prophet. Then something happened. I do not have the clearance to tell you, brother, but by the Lord, believe me, our work here is holy. Our work here is just. And though we struggle, though it doesn't always make sense, brother, have faith. Origin's diamond dice may have landed on your name with this project, but the throw was not random. You were chosen, brother. Have faith.
A tear, a breath, and a toss of the rag into the trash. He stands tall.
Thank you, brother. I needed a reminder. I apologize for the insubordination. It will not happen again.
Worry not, Jack. Should you need guidance, I have many contacts in Fate Corps. Let me know, and I will personally begin a program for you. Origin's pet is of the utmost importance, and we cannot allow anything to stand in our way, whether that be your mind, a fault in our system, or even myself. In the meantime, focus on the pet. I don't want to see a repeat of Jasmine.
Jack choked up. His own pet. His own mistake. His own fault.
Yes, Doctor.
He contemplated for a moment long enough where the doctor knew he wasn't yet comfortable.
Is there anything else bothering you, Jack?
Doctor, why has Brown barred me from accessing the records about the cage?
You understand what you are asking of me, correct?
His nerves were so sensitive he felt the stench of the rag and the trash reaching his own skin.
Jack,
Yes, Doctor. I understand the implications, but it does not make any sense to me. Last update we heard was the glass workers in Boston were in possession of it. But Doctor, there is no reality where that is the whole story. What happened to the doctor before you? Miss Lucan?
If there were a time for silent prayer, it is now. Something has come over him. He could feel it. Whether it was frustration, anger, fear, annoyance, no matter what it is, it has taken Jack by the throat. And he does not want to be let go.
Miss Lucan was a mistake. One that has no explanation, Jack. Dr. Brown does not falter, and you, nor I, will say anything to the contrary. However, when it comes to the case of Miss Lucan, there are scrubs of the records, censor bars, that even I have yet to see past. I do not know who he is, nor where he went, but I do know this. Should you ask Dr. Brown yourself what became of Miss Lucan, you will not see the factory again. Am I clear?
The answer may not have been what he expected, but it was certainly appreciated.
Yes, Doctor.
Good. In that case, I will be down in an hour. I wish to speak with you in person. Turn the IHR off in the meantime. I wish for the only voice you hear to be that of your own speaking to God. Pray, brother. I will arrive shortly.
Yes, Doctor. See you soon.
He placed his thumb and forefinger at the base of his neck and jerked inward, clicking the device off within him. All factory members were implemented with an internal head radio, or IHR. You do not turn it off unless instructed to do so. In this case, Jack had his orders. Kneeling at the base of the storage cell, he looked up at Penelope. It is a grotesque sight to the uninitiated. Legs dangling off of her body connected only by an extra long bone, yet to shrink. Fingers growing from the palm one nerve at a time. Her head, what will be her head, still growing eyes in the brain. This was his work, his lab. He created the pet project, that being its literal name. Every person in the factory is allowed one recreation of a human they knew on the outside. He chose his daughter from before he was rescued. Despite having created the program, he messed up the process. Jasmine. Her life was nearly done growing until he utilized typests. He learned that day not all pets are created equal. Dr. Brown chose her old husband, and using all typests blood he had, Jack made it happen. It has been a slow process restocking S. Looking away from Penelope, he clasps his hands together. Forget what Origin wants. Forget what Brown wants. Ignore Hellline soldiers harassing him on the way here. Focus on the doctor's words. Pray. And pray he did.